Well, where are we off to this morning? We are going to the dump. It's funny, my mother's, sorry about the sun in your eyes, guys. Maybe I'll just show you the interior view. My mother says that every time we went to the dump when I was a child, when I was a toddler, and we lived in a very rural area, so we had to take our trash to the dump ourselves. And every time we did, she says I would sing Jesus Loves Me from the time we got in the car until the time we got home. That's what she says. I have no idea how true it might be. Got my morning coffee. I'm just about to take my first sip. I have done my yoga. And I am not going to drag you the whole way to the dump with me, but I will pick you up as we get closer. And we'll see how long we're going to have to wait this morning. Here's our neighbor Jim out here with his dog Rufus. Kit might be saying hello, we'll see. Rufus has a new favorite bush. Jim's the one that actually installed my extend-a-stay for me the other day. I asked him to help me with it, but you know, he just did it, which is also fine. Because one of the things I discovered is that I probably did not have enough hand strength to be able to do it myself anymore. Simple job though, and I'm going to have a video coming out, or it's already out, about that, showing that exact process. Alright, we're going to pick you up when we get closer. GoPro, stop recording.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Water hours are 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now the problem with 6 a.m. of course is that it's still freaking dark, so you can't really see what you're doing then. And I guess we're going to come up this side because it doesn't have a puddle of water next to it. Oh, but that side... Stop, Kit! This side actually gives me a better hose access. So I'm going to put my outside shoes on, and then I'll take them off as soon as I come in again. And there is no rinse water here. There used to be, but now there isn't. Oh, the dump part's over, so yay for that. And we are going to head over and get water now. And what I'm going to do today is, so there's a water station straight ahead of us, but I'm going to go to the one on the other side of the road, just so I don't have to put you facing into the sun. How about that? So there's either 4 or 6 different water stations here. I think there's 6. Can't remember for sure. The water here is very salty and high in mineral content. So I'm not thrilled about that, and I have in previous years pretty well avoided using it. But I'm going to suck it up this year just because one of the things that Barb and I were talking about yesterday is that I think because we only operate off of our freshwater tanks, even if we are going to develop, you know, potential stickiness problems from all the salt in the fittings, that once we get out of the LTVAs and go back to conventional water, it'll be easy to deal with again. It'll flush it right back out. So I'm not going to be overly concerned about it. And I stop. And I filter my drinking water through my Berkey, so I think that's fine. The other thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to fill my black tank about halfway up with fresh water here. There's no rinse water at the dump station. And then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to leave it that way when I go down to Yuma. And then I'm going to dump it again when I come back from Yuma on Wednesday. Just like that, we are done and heading back to camp. So the thing that's interesting about this is, in some ways it's very convenient. I mean, I didn't even have to leave the LTVA to be able to get water and dump. The quality of the water is suspect. The dump station is not super clean in terms of, you know, it's all wet and stuff. But it's okay. And this is, you know, part of the amenities that you get for your $180 season-long pass. So what I did was, I use a water flow meter, and I measured 15 gallons going into my black tank. It holds 35 according to the spec sheet that I got on the internet. All right, I'm watching my back end again. Make sure this is really okay. I know the going up part's okay, it's just getting through that dip. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So I can come in by the dump station and I don't have to go down to the end of the paved road. That's good to know. So basically I filled it about halfway. And then I'm going to use it for the next 2 days. And then I'm going to dump it again when I come back from Yuma. So that's my plan. I might have to sit in line to wait to dump when I come back from Yuma, but oh well. And that ought to give it a pretty good rinse between the time on the highway driving and then dumping. That, you know, hopefully the water sloshing around will remove anything inappropriate. This little teeny tiny rig that you're going to see straight ahead of us there, it's a Mitsubishi or an Isuzu or something like that. It pulled in yesterday and it drove directly through our camp 3 times. That was a thing. I was not a happy camper. Don't drive through other people's camps. Just don't. It's inappropriate. It is. Completely inappropriate. So be a good camper. You can be a good camper and you can be a happy camper. And hopefully you can be a good happy camper. This is a view of my tiny RV kitchen that you don't often get. I just finished making breakfast and I'm about to sit down and eat. But I wanted to show this to you because this is going to change hopefully today. We're going to get rid of this old faucet and we're going to put in a gooseneck faucet. Part of what's important to me about this is that I've realized recently, first of all, I don't like the way this looks, whatever. Looks are not that big a deal to me. But the way that this sticks out on this 45-degree angle, it takes up a lot of sink space. And, you know, to a certain extent, that's not a huge deal. On the other hand, I often end up washing my hair in the kitchen sink. And so having one that comes up and goosenecks over is going to open up more sink space and make that much easier. And the new one that I'm putting in also has a pause button, so hopefully that works well too. Probably not going to see the actual installation, but I just cleaned out this cabinet completely. And you can see the plumbing is back here. He's going to end up probably having to take out these drawers so that he can get to the fittings. And yeah, I've got an RV tech doing it because I know I'm capable of doing it. I've done it before. I don't want to go through the contortions that are necessary to get that done. And you're getting a view of our camp out here. My friends are sitting around outside. I wanted to make breakfast and get that out of the way before he's ready for me. Because right now, the tech's working on Judy's rig. She had an electrical problem that he's taken care of. So I'm pretty excited about this. This is only one of several modifications we're going to be doing. Let me show you this one. So this is the fan in the bathroom. Can you see all these broken pieces? Yep, they're all broken up. We're replacing this fan with a Max Air fan, which will be identical to this one that's in the bedroom. Part of the reason I'm going with the expense of putting in the 10-speed Max Air fan is that if I'm running it for a shower, I want to run it only probably on low speed. And the lowest speed on a Max Air fan is lower, a 10-speed is lower than the lowest speed on like a Fantastic fan, for example. And it makes absolutely no sense to me to put in another one of these stupid little 4-inch fans. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'm excited about that. We've got some sealing getting done and stuff like that. My toilet has been rocking for many months now, and it started, I think, when the guy put the bidet in, because I think he was leaning on the toilet while he did it and broke the flange. So we're going to be getting the flange replaced today. No more rocking. Yay. Looking forward to that. And again, could I do these things? Yes, I could. I choose not to. It's hard to get contortioned like that. So I'm going to sit down and eat my breakfast real quick, get the dishes done and get out of the way so that when he's ready to work on me, I'll be ready for him to work on me. He's here. I'm so excited. I've been waiting not terribly long because I just met the guy a few days ago. But this is Dana with D's RV Repair and Handyman. Local technician, so don't be fooled by the fact that he's got an Idaho phone number. He is local here to Quartzsite. Brought his whole trailer out here along with himself to take care of a bunch of the stuff that I needed to get done. And I'm curious, what kind of handyman stuff do you do?
Just about anything, carpentry, a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electrical.
Cool.
A little bit of just about anything, flooring.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'll at least come out and take a look at it and give you an honest opinion of whether I can do it or not, or try and point you in the right direction.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, you can see from the stuff all over the toilet seat that there has been some progress in here. Take a look at this. Here's the new fan. Partly installed. We're not quite there yet, but I wanted to give you a look at this before he gets the outer shroud on, because that's what is, that's what finishes this all off. And he's still got to wire it up completely, but that's a pretty simple thing to do. And you can see the nice clear cover up there. And I will fess up, because I don't ever hide anything. Let's look at the one in the bedroom now. Yeah, that's pretty dusty. I guess I'm going to be working on cleaning in the next couple of days and clean that up a bit. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm liking it. Hey guys, this is my new friend Dana. Dana, say hi.
Hi guys.
This is YouTube. So we were just talking about the fact that he's getting ready to work on my toilet, and he said, "Well, you gotta turn your water off." I said, "It's off. I only turn it on when I'm actively using the water." And tell me what your response to that was.
I said that is a damn good idea, because you never know, if you're outside hanging with your friends, or you take a little trip out in the desert, you come back, you may have a flooded coach. So
it's entirely possible.
Sorry.
Yep. And y'all have heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. That's a simple thing that's easy to do. Somebody said, I can't remember who it was, but said that, operating the switch so often is more likely to make the switch fail. I don't care. I can swap out a switch in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, a switch is a cheap fix compared to a flooded floor.
Exactly. And nobody wants that. All right, so just keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to let Dana get back to work now. He's got a lot to do in here. Ever wonder what your RV looks like without a toilet in it? Well, here you go. All right, so take a look down here. Dana's going to point to where our issue is, which is a broken flange.
So,
and you said it's broken on both sides?
yeah, so this one's broke out. That hole should be half as wide as it is right here. It should narrow down right there so that this twists sideways and locks in there. And as you can see, they twist sideways, but
yeah,
they no longer, they drop in, you twist them.
And that's why my toilet's been rocking.
Yep.
So how are we going to fix this?
We're going to put a repair flange over the top of this one.
And the reason that we have to do that is, instead of just pulling this out and replacing it, why do we do a repair flange?
Well, if this one, without actually pulling this flange and finding out, it could either be in a rubber grommet, which then we could take the flange out and replace the flange. But if it's glued into the tank, the easiest way is to just put the repair flange on it.
Because if we tried to remove this one and replace it directly, we could damage the tank.
It's a pain in the butt. You gotta cut it from the inside, clean it up, and more labor.
Yeah, more labor, so it costs more to do it, and we don't risk actually damaging the tank in this way, right?
Right.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to leave you to it. All right, so this is a repair flange going on now, and you doing what, silicone or construction adhesive? How's that stay on?
Put a little either, they calls for silicone, but I like using geocell ProFlex, a little more tenacious than silicone. And then we'll screw it down on the 4 corners, which then locks our bolts back into place.
And is this then theoretically ready to go, or does it need time to really set up to be totally...
Once I screw it down, it'll be completely ready to go.
And Dana nicely cleaned up all of the dirt that was all around it. Cool. Now I don't have to clean the bathroom.
Win-win.
Absolutely.
Of course, that costs extra.
Of course it does. I know, because I paid for that time. All right, look at this, guys. Doesn't this look a whole lot better than the last one? I think so. Let's turn it on. So we've got spray. We've got stream. We got a pause button. And the pause button is pausing while you hold it in. Be super cool if it paused and just stayed that way, but no. But that's all right. And it looks a whole lot better than the last one, and it's higher up. So I think it's going to make access to things in the sink a whole lot better. Thank you, Dana. I showed you Dana when we were working on the inside. Here we are standing on the outside, and I'm going to flip the camera around in just a second, and he's going to fill you in on most of the stuff that we got done today. It was a lot. So what all did we do today, Dana?
Well, let's see. We started with replacing your defunct little bathroom vent fan, fart fan, with a max air fan.
Cool.
Pull some air through. And then we pulled up your toilet and repaired the flange to the floor and remounted the toilet, so no more rocky on the toilet.
Nice.
We replaced your kitchen faucet with bigger and better, and
residential, not RV.
Residential style. We went around, we touched up all the seals on the roof corners and anywhere else that looked like there may be a water leak.
Let's talk about that a little bit more, because I think that's really important. You did find some areas where I had seen some problems.
You had pointed out where you had a leak, and I went up there, and yes, I did indeed find some cracks in the front transition strip in the caulking and stuff, so we sealed those up and hopefully solved that problem.
And part of the lesson here, guys, is that even a slight pinhole can cause...
It doesn't take much. Water wicks. Once it starts getting into somewhere, it'll just suck it on in there, and the coach acts like a sponge and just draws it in. So
and we saw the evidence of that in my idiot light monitor panel, which was malfunctioning as a result of its water intrusion, which fortunately turned out to be an easy fix, because I'm guessing that clip on the back was probably loose anyway.
And then a little bit of moisture and corrosion on it caused it to not want to connect.
And now that seems to be working properly again too.
Yep.
And then we also replaced the weather strip at the bottom of my door.
And pulled the door frame in.
Yeah, check this out, guys.
Pulled the door frame in about a ½ an inch to the wall, so now the door closes nice and square.
Yeah, so that's super cool. Replaced a couple of screws in the door frame, so hopefully I got a little bit less rattling going down the road now. That'll be nice. And overall, I would say this. I'm going to flip the camera around and then I'm going to say this. And one other thing that I want to mention about this entire process today, Dana gave me a rough estimate of what he thought the time was going to take, and he was pretty spot on with the amount of time that it actually took, and I appreciate that as well. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
If you're in Quartzsite or in the Quartzsite area, as far as baths, there will be a trip charge though. I would say give Dana a call. I'm going to put his contact info in the video down below. You got any social media or anything we want to talk about?
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
Flying low, avoiding radar.
Perfect. Do you want me to put your phone number in? Or?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. I'll put his phone number in the video description down below. I would say if you've got stuff you need done and a variety of different things, he's out here to do them. I'm not going to tell you what his price is, because you might be seeing this later and he may change his price. But I will tell you it is roughly 25% of the going rate in other states. How about that?
And definitely less than half of any shop around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Third of a shop.
Absolutely. And part of the way that I found him, guys, was that he was actually recommended to Barb by RV Lifestyles because they couldn't get to a thing that she needed to have done. So he came out, looked at Barb's thing, and now we've got him doing things for people all around the camp.
I've been here all day.
Mostly just working on me. It only took you about an hour on Judy, so So yeah, so very cool. I'm going to say thank you again, Dana. I super appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks to you guys for watching. I think that's all I got for you. Bye for now.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes.